Shameless. United in the Europa League. Europa League. We tell them one time and we say Europa League.
Real Sociedad 0, Manchester United 1. Mina, we don't top the group. We did enough to win the game and get a clean sheet, but we're playing a Champions League side come February. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think it 1-0, clean sheet. Obviously, Garnacho, bad boy. Bad boy. He's a bad... Garnacho is a bad boy. To take that chance, the weight of the pass from Ronaldo was inch perfect, but he still had to do a lot to even get a good opportunity on goal, and to smash that with his left foot, sent the keeper, smashed it into the roof. Bad boy. Garnacho's a bad boy. But I think people did underestimate Real Sociedad. Like, this is a team who've actually won 9 of their last 11 games. They've always got possession. I think they averaged around 56% possession, and they've conceded 4 goals in 8 games with how many 4 or 5 clean sheets across those games. So we definitely underestimated them, but also we did not come in with our strongest team. We've had injuries. I think Ten Hag was a bit reactive with his change at second half, changing the formation, making changes. I think the lineup wasn't our strongest lineup. Donny van der Beek, his first 90 minutes, well, not 90 minutes, but his first start this season, after having a little cameo last week, he didn't look that great in the first half. But one thing I will say is that starting the game, we did not look good. Normally, when we start first halves and our second halves, we are on the front foot immediately. We actually normally create a chance in the first 4 to 5 minutes of the half. Today, we didn't do that. And I think that kind of set the tone. Real Sociedad, but they were there I think they were there to win, but they knew they were comfortable. I think they knew that they were coming away with what they wanted, which was top of the table. Obviously, everyone's overlooking the fact that we won the game and that we had a clean sheet. But obviously, in a time when there's so much fixtures, obviously we don't want to have a knockout to get to the knockouts, if that makes sense. And today's game, there was so many individual performances where I could just pick at, but it was just one of them days where it just wasn't working. The referee he was consistently inconsistent. Some of the calls that he was given absolutely was ridiculous, and I'd rather just sit here and talk about our team rather than the referee, because at the end of the day, our players shouldn't let the referee's calls kind of get to them. That's where the professionalism kind of comes in, and I do think some of the calls that we were getting kind of got to a few players, but all in all, I think it's just on to the next. Hopefully we get... I don't want a Spanish team. I don't want Sevilla. Because Spanish teams, honestly, they give me a headache. They're not the nicest of teams to come across. And I think there's Ajax, there's Barca, there's Juve, there's Shakhtar. There's so many decent teams that we can get. But if we are able to have our best and most fit lineup, I definitely think over 2 legs we could definitely win.
So that's kind of your thought process of now, okay, we'll move on, but we shouldn't be afraid of anyone, I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're Manchester United, we shouldn't be afraid of anyone. But what worries me is any injuries that come after the World Cup. Today you saw, never in my life did I think I would see a 3-3-3-1 formation.
That's wild.
And I never thought I'd see Maguire playing number 9. But today I saw both. Today I saw both. What can I say? And I don't know if Ten Hag brought on Maguire as a striker to prove a point that he has no depth up front, because we did say this coming into the season. Any sort of injury tweaks to any of our lineup, and we're going to see the wildest of players playing. Having that back three of Dalot, Martinez and Luke Shaw, and then we had that midfield three and then the three behind the striker. Everything was so congested narrowly that we were able to, Real Sociedad were able to easily pass out of our press that we were giving them, and then able to go wide. Then Dalot has to go wide, Casemiro drops in, and then now we've still got 3 in the middle because Dalot's gone wide. And it was an experiment worth experimenting, but I don't want to see that again.
No.
Unless
You're not advocating for Maguire up front for the end of the season?
I don't want to see Maguire up front. I don't want to see a 3-3-3-1 formation. But also, it's we were winning 1-0. Obviously, we needed something. Ten Hag was trying something new. That's a game where you can try something because we're not losing. We're through anyways, regardless. Obviously, people don't want to have a knockout before a knockout in February. But it's one of those ones where if you don't experiment today, then I don't want him to be experimenting when we're 3-1 down to City in January or something. You know what I mean? So today's game is one of them ones where it is what it is. It's on to the next. I think Eriksen looked a bit laggy today. I think our entire midfield looked a bit laggy, and that was our difficulty. We struggled to control the ball from the middle, which is what we usually do. Casemiro, phenomenal guy, amazing guy. This is why he's up here. Yeah, this is why I get why after a game he wants to see his stats. Because he's probably thinking, 9 interceptions. I need to catch 3 bodies on the pitch. I need to do this. I need to do that. He's a bad boy. He actually bailed us out quite a few times in the middle when Donny van der Beek, Eriksen, Bruno were unable to link up. And I get, I don't want to be too harsh on Van der Beek because this is his first start of the season. But Garnacho came in last week and took his moment. I'd expect the same from Donny. But the only difference is that Garnacho has been playing with the under-21s. It's not like he's been ice cold. We're playing against Sheriff today. We're playing against Sociedad, 2 different teams. I think last week's game would have been a good game to see Donny play a team against low block where we have possession, where he's able to pick out little spaces and get like in between defenders. So today he did do that in the second half. But I do think like the biggest difficulty for us was just controlling the game from the middle of the pitch, and we saw it in the amount of times we lost possession.
Will the positive be, though, that we did win? We did keep a clean sheet. In comparison to that game that we faced them at Old Trafford, I think we got a win. We did obviously that didn't happen at Old Trafford. Would the positive be that there is still somewhat momentum being built by United? Yeah,
definitely. And I think with like a few games to go until we go on our World Cup break, I think this to continue the momentum that we've kind of picked up since the City game is showing that the team have some sort of unity. They've got some belief. I think the manager's really getting his hands stuck in. I mean, to make a call like that today, where if that was any other manager, throwing Maguire up front, it would be ripped apart. But I'm here saying today, it's okay, it's all right. We understand, it's an experiment. So it's definitely like the manager's getting stuck in, and building on momentum is the most important part, because when the World Cup ends, like I said, Premier League is one of the first leagues back out of all the European leagues, and we have to hit the ground running immediately, hopefully with players that are still fit. You saw Lindelof today go down into the changing room when he came off, so hopefully that's nothing serious with him because Rafael Varane is out. But also this just shows the lack of quality that we have in our depth. You look at our bench today, and I do kind of sympathise for Ten Hag, because he said it last week, I think, after the game at Old Trafford, where he was asked about a right back. I think it was Flex asked him the question about Gallo. I might be wrong.
He was asked after the game, so I think he was asked in the press conference, and he said, any top team needs 2 players in each position.
Exactly, and I'm glad that he's saying this, because you see it across different positions where we need quality. Like, there's one thing having depth, it's another thing having quality, and today showed you that we need the quality in depth. I think we injury. Anthony injured, Sancho injured, Martial injured. Just imagine the difference that 2 or 3 of those players could have made today. But it's one of those ones where it's fine margins. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and talk about the ref, but you should be embarrassed with yourself. But it's the injuries. If we are able to avoid them, obviously it's God's grace if it happens. But if we are able to avoid them, momentum picks up. We can hit the ground running, hopefully.
Do you still back us to beat those teams and go all the way?
Inshallah, that means God willing. God willing, we'll be able to. Listen, I'm not overly confident, but I believe in my team and I believe in our manager. Like Ten Hag always says, we have to go into games thinking we are good enough to be there. We're not in the knockouts of Europa League by chance. We got 15 points. We won, 5 of our 6 games? Yeah. Same with Sociedad. So we have to look at the dropouts from the Champions League and think, we can actually pick up something across 2 legs.
Exactly. Show no fear. That's what we've got to do going forward.